Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I've got a lot going on this episode, but it's mostly about fixing up tools so that I can sort out all my other tools to make life a lot easier. I finished the front flooring in RV number 2, and I rewired the batteries and add some solar panels.
You know what? I should have pulled out my camera and had my buddy film me, but I just detached this, picked this end up, walked it over, and just set this thing down all by myself. I'm fixing to slide that out of there and up there and put a new awning on for my buddy Danny. Okay, I just got all 24 solar panels hooked up. 4 sets of 6 panels, and yeah, it's easily doing 1.5 kilowatts, which is about what both of these panels were putting off together. And it's not even super sunny weather out. Success! Now I just hooked those other panels up to that charger and reap the additional benefits. Oh, and the wires from there to the batteries. Alright, let's double check and make sure now that it's under pressure I don't have any leaks. Looking good. Looking good. Oops. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. And I didn't mess with it down this way, so there shouldn't be no leaks. The only other thing I had dripping was the anode rod from the water heater when I pulled it out last time, but I put Teflon tape on it this time, so it shouldn't be leaking. And as long as it's not leaking, that's 100%. I can go and clean up, put the mattress back on. Anyway, look at that. Wow.
Well, good morning, J&K. What have we got going on today? Well, you see my lights pulsing and flashing, and my pump light's doing the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, what's up with that? Okay, what's really mysterious isn't so much that they're flashing, but that the fact that they're on it at all. Because as you can see, all of my batteries are disconnected. All of my solar panels are disconnected completely. That wire right there goes to nothing. It's set up for my new panels when I get them installed. Yet the lights are flickering and flashing. Where are they getting their electricity from? Unless it's just draining off the capacitors from the power converter. It's 24 to 12 volt power converter behind the box. But you'd think by now they'd run out, because I had some of the fans on and everything, and they shut off, but it's enough to pulse the light. You know, the inverter's turned off, and I've got the breaker off, so it's completely disconnected. The 120 is, it's basically completely disconnected. I checked both cell phones and everything to make sure I didn't have any cell phone battery trying to back feed through the DC through a charger or something. None of that's going on. I just don't understand it. Reworking my battery so I can get ready to add the new panels. A bit of a mess here, as you can see. Started with 4 batteries, added 2. Decided to use some jumper cables that I had left over for wiring, because it's just expensive and hard to find. And I found out that these stiff wires, especially running between the batteries, work good temporary, but it's not a good long term, especially when they start shifting around, because the connectors just kind of start wiggling apart. So I'm going to use a softer wire between all the batteries, and I'm just going to run them kind of like I got going right there, instead of running the inverter to 2 battery posts and trying to equalize by running one. Anyway, I'm going to just hook all 3 sets of 2 batteries together and then hook the converter and the charge wires right up to there, so it should distribute and draw power out of the batteries evenly, much more evenly, and even be easier to add extra batteries. And one of my goals is to try to make all the cables the same length between the batteries, and then between the batteries and the power distribution bolt. Maybe, like I said, I'm going to actually get some bus bars or something up in here, and I really wouldn't mind getting a breaker between the sets of batteries too. I'll need 3 of them. You know, they're 100 amp batteries, so, but the wire I'm using is probably only good closer to 50 or 60 amps, so I don't know. But doing the math, I think 50 or 60 amps into these batteries, man, that's, you know, that's like a total of 3 or 4 kilowatts, which far exceeds what I can put into them. So right now I think my wires will mate up to my expectations. Again, so long as I've just got these things hooked up together right, instead of trying to load it all into 2 terminals, spread them out over all 6. Anyway, bye. Okay, I did what I said I was going to do. I hooked the batteries up with flexible line instead of that stiff, but it's all copper. None of this wiring in here is aluminum at all. A few of the connectors might be copper, I don't know, nickel coated aluminum they say, but I don't know, they might just be totally not aluminum connectors. Anyway, I got some aluminum connectors I'm working in, but anyway, now I got basically 7 wire hubs and a length of the wire stripped out for the chargers to clamp onto. Well, actually 8 wire, because one of these, the biggest charger, is actually hooked up right there with that O-ring. But anyway, so now all 6 batteries are hooked up with a jumper cable wires between them, and then they all go off to the hubs, the bolts basically, which go straight to the inverter, straight to this big charger, which jumps off to the little charger that doesn't do much, and then another big set of cables goes out to the box down there, which goes to the converter, 12 volt converter, and also runs all the way out front to the old battery wires up front, and I jumped off of those to hook that charge controller up front and those 2 big front fans up to in series to make it 24 volts, 2 12 volt fans. Anyway, as you can see, charge controller's humming along, birds are singing, water tank's doing good. I got the little kit right there to put the tank drain in. Soon, next time I get the tank dropped down enough, I'll put it in. But yeah, go double check the battery meters on the Bluetooth app and double check, make sure all of them are connected, charging or discharging, and I believe we're all set. Good deal. Oh, and I left myself those 2 wires right there with some wire nuts on the end to run up the wall to that charger, and that cable goes out to the back of the RV number 2, the project workshop, and those are for those 2 300 watt panels, total 600 to hook up. So I'll get those panels hooked up, I'll hook that up, and I'll hook that up to there, and then I'll have another supposedly 600 watts coming in. Alright, J&K, that's it today. Bye. Alright, it looks like a mess, but it is far more organized than it has ever been before. I've got my main line in for charging up the solar chargers, and the main line out to the front fans and the 12 volt converter separate now. I've got another outlet separate to run up the wall to that charge controller when I add the panels on top of the new panels on top of the project RV. I've got all batteries hooked up with flexible cable, and I got them joined together
evenly distributing the power out to the converter, the output, the input, and the output is also acting as another input for the these chargers here. So that the idea is that when I've got 1.5 kilowatts coming in, which is about 50 or 60 amps off of these wires, I won't have another 50 or 60 amps coming in off the same wire, totaling 100. I'll have 50 coming in there and 50 coming in here for a total of 100 at that joint, but then it immediately divides to the 6 batteries. I think that's a great idea. Basically, bolts instead of bus bars. Eventually I will upgrade to bus bars. But yeah, how's that for getting it done a lot better than it was before? And I found out where my mystery power source is coming from. The power converter line goes to the power converter, goes to the breaker box, but I also got the old battery wires running 24 volts up front for those fans, and that charge controller right there. That was it. I forgot to disconnect the solar panel off of that, and it was backfeeding the solar panel into these lights, making them flicker. And when I accidentally touched those 2 wires together, even with all the batteries and everything disconnected, it still gave a little spark and put the lights out. And that's why. Bye.
Should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area. Y'all want some more all I wanna do is feel bass.
Look at that. Trying to level it out. Is it gonna work? Oh no, my jack is too short to catch on either spot. Oh well, try it again. All right. I realized to get this thing to lean over well, I'm not really going to do it on the frame. I'm going to do it on the axle. So I got the front axle jacked up all the way, put a block under it, and doing the same thing over here. Jacking this axle up all the way, putting a block under it. Since the ground's kind of going downhill, I made sure the block's kind of sitting a little uphill, especially that front one. Now let's see what happens. Here we go. Uh-oh. Where's the little relief valve on this thing? There it is. Here we go. There we go. Definitely want to put some air in the tires, that's for sure, but there we go. That's probably a lot better than it was when we started. Ooh, it's not perfect, but boy, is it a lot better than it was. Like I said, filling tires up, I'll probably make a little more difference. Much better. All right, I've got some absolutely epic updates on my number 2 RV project workshop, whatever we want to call it. First thing, the tongue isn't way high up in the air, and I got it pretty leveled front to back. It's still sitting downhill a little bit, but I've jacked up both axles one at a time and got some blocks up under them, so it's a little bit higher than it was. I inflate that tire, it might help it out a little bit, but the bumper isn't sitting on the ground or just about touching the ground like it was anymore. Like I said, I got it pretty well leveled out. I've also got a couple of my new solar panels that I was talking about wanting to try out. So those are supposed to be 300 watts a panel. So I've got a total of 600 watts worth of panel. They're supposed to be better in the shade. You know, if a little bit of it gets covered up, it's still supposed to put out good output instead of lowering the whole output, something like that. Anyways, it's supposed to be a little more efficient. And I'm going to go with the larger panels now to see if they're a little simple to deal with in large quantities. Since I don't need the versatility and affordable replaceability of the smaller panels. And that was $250 for supposedly 600 watts rated. You know, these were still right around $45 to $50, maybe even $52. If they're not, if you don't get a deal on a whole bunch of them at a time. And like I said, I get 750, about 859 peak out of these on the best day with them set up off the ground so they dissipate heat. They definitely need cleaning. Anyway, those so far, I think about 250 is the max I've gotten out of them. I'm hoping to get at least 350 to 4, on the regular, but I probably got to get them up off the roof to dissipate some heat and maybe work on the cabling a little better. Anyways, this is what we're actually working on today. We're going to go ahead and change out this piece of flooring up to right here with this sheet right here I got from the hardware store yesterday. Finally got my third sheet to do it. I'll tell you what, I'd been sitting here thinking, working all morning and thinking about it, but just realizing that it was epic. It took all morning to clean that. What I had to knock down off of there to fix the front roof joint. I realized why I procrastinated so long on cleaning it up, especially with the tables here. Maybe I can roll back and find a before and after photo to show you real quick, or before photo to show you. Okay, so now I'll get the camera off the tripod and we'll take a good look at the huge mess I made. I got all kinds of rat poop and feces, if you will, all over me, and dirt, nasty, and it might even be a screenshot. Anyway, so all this stuff was stacked up in between some of this, and it's only 8 feet from here to there, and I need just a little bit of room to work around the edges. So toss the 8-foot 2x4s out there and just put all the 8-foot sheets of plywood at a little bit of an angle, so I got the room to work. And like I said, it was pretty epic actually, taking care of all this stuff and coming back here and actually finding a place for everything. I got my caulking and everything up there, still looking for a place to put that. But you come up in here and now I got my impact driver bits and different screws, got my Sawzall sander and the blades for that, and the bits and the drill and everything, and some of my butyl putty tape and corner trim insert. That kind of works okay right there to just cover that up for now, but I think I'm going to try to stop talking and get to work really. But anyway, like I said, it's epic. It took all morning practically to get that done, and I bet it's going to take me half hour to swap that out. Again, the hardest part is going to be just getting the vacuum out and cleaning all the stuff up under there, and maybe a little reframing. Got to really set up the table saws, do some cutting, and stop recording. Alright, I got myself the double railings built up, fixed up, patched up all the questionable parts. Got the flooring cut, and I'm ready to set it in. Hopefully this door jamb won't give me the same problem that it did right over here. We'll see. Would you look at that? 12 feet of flat flooring from wall to wall. Brand new. Put all the framing up underneath it. Solid. Got a jack up under the front corner, level it off a little bit better, and it doesn't even wobble no more. Got me a big toolbox. Traded my gas bike and an old mountain bike, GT mountain bike I have. Put that right there. Now I got me a work table and a place to put my saws, sanders, hammers, everything else. Now I got a spot of wall I can stack up 8-foot pieces of plywood for the moment. I'll go ahead and come around on this side, and it's time to start framing this up. And like I said, I might go ahead and just put a cut this out a little bit this way or that way, probably this way, and put me I think this is what, 28 inches, and I need about 32 or 34 for the washing machine to come through. So instead of putting an RV door on this thing, I think I'm going to put an actual house door on this and be done with all the craziness with these fiberglass doors. Anyway, absolutely amazing. Wow, would you look at this? I got the floor all the way finished up to right here. There's a little bit of a gap and a little bit of a step down, but you know, it worked for now. A lot better than the way it was before. A little bit of hole right there in the corner. And I think I'm just, at this point, probably just gonna take the tub and sink out, take that wall off, keep on going with the floor to the back. I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Probably end up coming in eventually, pulling it up again to do the installation. I wish I wasn't so poor so I could afford it all at once, but it is what it is. Anyway, I took the old vinyl flooring terrible shape, but I think it's better than just leaving the bare wood exposed for the most part, so it is what it is. Maybe I get the staple gun out and clean up the corners after it flattens out a little bit. Anyway, amazing. I gotta give this thing a lot of credit. It works out pretty good. Gotta come out here once every day or two and chase a snake or walk the dog, whatever you call it, to get the stuff up in there. And I can't use my 90s, so that corner gets a little bad, but it's for the most part smell free and definitely leak free. About time to go drain it. Been about 2 weeks. Pretty good timing. Well, good morning everybody. Guess what I got going on today? I'm in my RV number 2 project workshop, maybe eventually live-in or rental, and I finished up pulling out the floor. I've already got it replaced all the way up to about 1 foot before the bathroom door. Right up there. And that's what I got left going on. I'm on the way to the store eventually to go get me another piece to probably just fill in the corners, and that wall is going to have to come down to go any further with the flooring. I'm going to use pieces of the other piece of floor for my live-in RV in the very back or front corner behind the recliners. There's some patchwork that needs to be leveled out and finished up, but today I'm gonna go ahead, now that I got the floor finished up where I can walk around and use it, started cleaning out the storage RV, and I got the table saw out. Finally got my table saw out, and wouldn't you know it, it's actually not a terrible fit. I can start the boards down through the doorway and have 10 feet or more going that way to the other wall to slide it out on. The one thing I don't have is those little adjustable rollers. I'll either get a set or build a set eventually, but I've done it with longer boards before with no support, so these two sawhorses will help out a lot. And look at this. Isn't this just amazing right here? I traded my the Beach Cruiser 4-stroke gas bike I built a while back, and an old GT mountain bike 24-speed with hydraulic brakes I bought a long time ago when I was living down in Valparaiso, working at the tire shop to get by when I was out of started having seizures. Anyway, I traded those two bikes for that toolbox, and it's supposed to be a key, and it seems to be fully functional, and I'm actually appreciating the power strip on the side. It's become a really decent hub to work off of. So anyway, now I got the table saw going. I haven't used this thing in months, maybe even a year, because it's just been stacked up behind so much stuff in the storage trailer. Does it even work? Oh yeah, of course it does. That thing will probably last for a little while longer. I swear I just smelled a little bit of electrical burn when that thing just started up. So who knows? It's probably time to look for something a little more modern and updated, and you got to take a tape measure and check both sides of this to tighten it down. That just, don't even worry about that. Anyway, I'm just so happy to have my table saw back up so I can start ripping 2x4s and start framing up this wall. I'm gonna go ahead and start by getting this window and this door frame set in, because this door frame's kind of doing this from all that weight on it, and I need to get it pulled out just a little bit so this door closes all the way. Same with the window. I can tell that the window's sitting apart from the siding about that far at the bottom. I need to just get it all reframed so I can get the window tightened up to it and work my way that way so I can make sure I don't have any leaks next time it starts raining real hard. Same thing with the wall. You know, I'm gonna panel up to here and probably stop if I even have the paneling, or just leave it empty. In fact, oh, look at that, you can even see daylight right through there. Yeah, no wonder this thing gets water in it all over the place. So that's going to be done by the end of the day. Anyway, but yeah, knocking that wall out will also allow me to just continue the walling behind the wall like it's supposed to be, but I'll have to take that closet out to do that. That bathtub, that sink, and these two cabinets and this wall will have to come out as well. But if I do a good enough job taking them down, maybe I can reuse the parts to put it right back up. Except when I put this up, you know, there's a toilet that goes right here, and I kind of have the same problem with my live-in RV where the toilet keeps the door from being able to be any wider, and the tub's on right here on my other one. But here the sink's pushed in, I can come back over to here and make this door a little wider, you know, because this thing's going to be as much utility as it can be with the eventual idea that, you know, like I said, I may end up moving in this to live in, selling my RV with the tag and title that actually is pretty much fully functional, you know, for a decent bit of money, you know, if I keep my storage RV, or if I can get me something with a slide out, eventually move into that and keep using this just like it is now. Anyways, I talk too much, or maybe I don't. I guess it's subjective. Let's get started. totally my fault. I went right to the outside flashing. Do that. Man. Oh man, I really messed up like that. All right, take a look at this. I am liking the way this is looking. Except, part of me swears it looks kind of like it's doing that. But it might just be the ceiling coming down over there in the corner. Guess I'll know when I put this piece down here and lift it up. But anyway, that's what I gotta do. I gotta finish peeling this off, come down to there, and build me in some frame. Oh. You know what? I'm probably gonna have to do that from the outside. I'm probably gonna have to take this wheel well off again and take this piece of siding off. If I remember correctly though, there's a joint right in here and there. But yeah, I'm gonna take that piece of siding off, and you know what? I'm probably just take it all the way off to at least here and go ahead and just replace that piece and get this corner straightened out so that I got a good solid corner to come up in here and tie in for that window to sit on. But anyway, I do that and I can get that window sealed in and put on. And oh yeah, this is glass. Okay, I was wondering if that was plexiglass or if that was real glass. I think that's real glass too. Okay, I could have swore some of these might have been busted out. I know that's plexiglass right there. I think that's glass. That's glass. Well, that's good. Oh, that's right. I can open that window if I just get a screen for it. That's why that window's not open. It was the back window over there that's missing. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk, but what a difference having this thing here not holding the weight anymore. It opened it up a little bit, especially up at the top. It fits a lot better, but like I said, that door is separating there, so you still gotta push it in and close it. But I don't know, it's not really any better than it was before. I need to redo the door. Oh, this is why I got confused. They put plexiglass over the entire outside, but it's just the bottom pane that's broken, and you can actually take those apart and put panes back in them. So that'll be something I'll work on, but I'm glad to know that both these big pieces are still glass. Neat. I take that back after I got the pry bar on there and squeezed the door back together. Wow, look at that. The bottom of it sticks down a little too far in the corner, but if I get that thing, yeah, slid up a bit, it'll slide all the way in there, and I can put a lock on that right now, and that'll be worth something. One-handed. All right, while working on this, I came into some problems, which includes forgetting or not having the microphone turn on. So I'm gonna have to do a voiceover. So I'm really happy with the way this is coming along, except I notice I'm gonna have some problems over here in the corner. There's really nothing left. Again, I said I'm gonna come from the outside to work on this. I think I'm just gonna put a 2x4 sitting sideways across the top and bring it all the way over to this joint down here in the lower left corner that's being held up by the metal framing on the ladder framing of the RV trailer. So I think if that's holding up 2x4, and I do the same thing on the other end behind the wheel well where the metal frame is holding up the the floor joist, then what I can do is see how there's a gap around the window. So the metal's actually holding the window, but right here the gap disappears even though the studs are the same size, because that's actually holding the weight
of the ceiling right now because you know, these two studs on the side of the window are supposed to go all the way down and be supported, but you can see the wheel wells obviously not in shape to really be supporting anything. And even if it was brand new, which I'll probably replace it, that's going to be the easiest thing to do, and I think I can do that after the fact. I could, you know, patch it up for now and just replace it later on from the outside. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to put a beam going all the way across to where this joist or the stud's going up right now, and just replace that stud with a shorter one, and then do the same thing behind the two axles up over by the back door, and that should legitimately give me a solid piece to support all of those studs going along that wall over the axles without putting any weight on the actual metal wheel wells themselves. And it actually, I think it'll be a huge upgrade. Anyway, yeah, there's that screw that I poked a hole through when I ripped that stud through the inside. Didn't even think of it. Lesson learned. Glad it was my RV and not somebody else's to learn that lesson from. But it's not going to be real pretty to fix. I might even need to replace that piece of that gutter flashing up above the door to fix it right. But anyway, yeah, so I was saying the door doesn't really close much better right now, but if I want to take a pry bar on it, it really helps out a lot. But having this toolbox has been a real huge blessing. Getting this place and keeping it clean is so much easier now with the actual floor and toolbox getting set up. So much improvement in such a short time. Got this nice tray for all my taller tools, my shorter tools. Got a place for the skill saw and the blades and everything. All three of my sanders. Expansion, probably put my saws all down there, and all, I don't know, 2 or 3 extra drawers to do things with. Got a little garbage bin been keeping around to help out a lot. And so, you know, those holes in the floor right there are actually coming in handy right now while I work on those corners. Like I said, I'm pretty much sold on taking those walls out, and that power strip on there has been real nice. I ran this cord up over the ceiling so that I got a cord on the other side over here, and it's been real handy using the saw with my right hand facing this way. And you know, the whole length of this thing being in the center with the table saw in the center, you know, I can do long boards pretty easy in this thing. So the siding is going to end up coming off. I'm most likely going to take off the all the way down to the corner and go ahead and get this bottom piece of floor joist replaced while I'm at it, and that'll give me something to start with the floor on the back, and do up over the wheel well and blend back in to what I got framing up on the front portion. I'll probably take the siding up to that portion I was just pointing out to go ahead and, yeah, right there, that piece right there, go ahead and come out, but I can stop at the door. I don't have to go all the way to the corner yet with that. The door will make a good divider, and you know, just get it all straightened out. Probably try to put some insulation in it while I'm there, since those inside walls will have to come out again if I ever want to get back inside of there, or the siding all the way up the wall, you know. But so the door, you know, am I going to take this down and fix it up like I've done before, except actually get the spray adhesive this time and do all the doors with it? Or am I going to make a plywood door out of it? Or should I do probably what I really should do, especially since this isn't a title, you know, doesn't have a title to it, cut the wall out 5 or 6 inches, whatever it is, to put a house door in. But see, going to the front is going to interfere with this thing. So should I take this access out, since it's just closed off on the inside, and just patch it up like I do the hot water heater holes and such? Or should I move the door that way, which would be so much simpler? But there we go, the room for my light and the work I just did, some of the work I just did. Oh wow, would you look at this? I got a little bit of bonus footage for you.
I went ahead and came out here and took this light out from my live-in RV in the living room and put it up under there so I can work over my table at night. This is, you know, RV number 2. Got the fan going, and I put me a light up there too, and got it situated so I can get the most light out of it with the least amount of shadows. And it even stretches all the way up into the bathroom for what it's worth. Not too shabby. I got some tool sorting out to do, but this is pretty amazing. So, and it even came in handy. I got the flashlight out to get that light hung up, and then with that light I was able to sit here and work on this one and put a cord on this socket that'll fit up into the smaller extension cords and reach over here so I don't have to run an extra cord. This runs down to there, and again that one still goes across the ceiling to give me the extra outlet over there. It's all working out pretty good. I like it. I can have it low light if I just want to focus over here, or if I want to get around and look around. Boom. Now I can do this at night, and it's, again, with the fan going, it's quite comfortable. There's a few bugs in here, but no mosquitoes really, just a couple of moths attracted to the bright light. So clean up my workstation and call it a day, and hopefully a video. Again, absolutely amazing. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you care to, and stay tuned, there's more to come. It looks like I'm going to start wheeling and dealing in RVs. Looks like I might trade the storage RV for another RV with a slide out that maybe I'll move into in a year or two. Who knows if I'm going to keep the live-in RV or stay living in it, or if I'm going to move into RV number 2 and still use it for workshop. We'll see.